You can listen to this practice wherever you find yourself today. You can be sitting down or laying down or even stretching and doing things if that's what you gotta do. And hopefully wherever you're at when you listen, this will still be helpful to you in some way. And so if you'd like to listen to this in a still position, you can allow yourself to take all the time you need to arrive there. And let yourself fidget and move and maybe stretch or adjust yourself in whatever ways your body wants to be adjusted. And just doing your best to come into the feeling sensations in the body. Not thinking about the movements or worrying about what it looks like or worrying about what it feels like, but just letting your body feel the movements and moving in the path of least resistance, following the good, yummy sensations you might get, maybe with some neck rolls or some side body bends, maybe opening and closing the chest with some cat-cow movements, maybe lifting the arms overhead, even giving the belly lots of space to be. And at any point, if what your body is calling for is stillness, then honoring that stillness whenever it feels right to you. And also knowing that there is zero rush whatsoever. You can continue to move throughout this practice whenever you feel the need to. If you are feeling ready and would like to listen in a still position, you can arrive there when you're ready, just feeling that the spine is nice and straight. And if you're in a place where you feel safe to do so, at any time you can allow the eyes to gently close if they aren't already. You can mark your arrival into your practice today, into your body today, with a full and intentional cleansing breath. A long and slow inhale in through the nose, letting yourself fill up fully to every corner and edge of you. As you just hold that for a moment at the top and really experience what it's like to be full right now. And as you need to, slowly letting all of that go. Decompressing bit by bit. And maybe even gently pulling the navel toward the spine at the bottom of your exhale to just push that last bit of stagnant air out of you as you again pause to feel what it's like to feel empty right now. And allowing your next breath to come to you as it's needed. And so you can breathe just like that for a few more rounds, for as long as it feels good for you. Just exaggerating the 4 parts of your breath. The inhale, the pause at the top of the inhale, followed by the exhale, and the pause at the bottom of the exhale. As you consciously slow down your breath. Remembering how the breath can be a very powerful tool to turn our attention inward, into our bodily functions, into the physical sensations that are happening right now, that can only happen right now in this moment. So it can be a very helpful anchor to the present. And even with that, we might find our minds wandering right now or throughout this practice, maybe wandering to the past, wondering about things that have happened or why things have happened a certain way, or even wandering to the future, maybe trying to multitask and get some lists done in your mind while doing this practice. And just knowing that that is a normal part of this practice, to acknowledge when the mind is wandering, where the mind is wandering to, and just knowing that right when you notice that you are wandering, right when you notice that the mind is planning or wondering or doing anything else, that is automatically what gives you or what brings you to this moment. That is what puts you in the role of the observer. So maybe feeling like your awareness is stepping back and up slightly in the mind as you become the witness or the observer of your body, of your environment, and of what is right now. Remembering that each and every time we show up to a practice like this one, we will find something different. It might be very simple, straightforward, and easy one day, and feel nearly impossible the next day. So being so kind to yourself wherever you're at today. And as you are witnessing yourself right now, you can just start to make note of your findings. Make note of any areas of tension in the body, or even areas of pain. Noticing any repeating thoughts that might be coming up. And sometimes when we have intrusive thoughts or repeating thoughts that are just on a cycle, it can be nearly impossible to tell ourselves to stop thinking of a certain thing. So instead, we can just acknowledge that fact and rather bring our attention to the physical, to the muscles in our body. And oftentimes, these thoughts can be linked to an area of fidgeting or an area of holding tension in our body. And it can be a lot more straightforward to relax the tension and watching as the thoughts will naturally subside with that tension. So just feeling the palms of your hands relax, the fingers to soften. Just allowing for any natural curve in the fingers of the hands. As you just let your arms be heavy. Letting your shoulders relax down and away from the ears. And as you do that, you might notice a curving in the shoulders, or maybe a cave shape sort of forming around your heart. This like protective stance. And if that's the case, or even if not, just feeling a sense of broadness across your collarbones. Feeling the tips of the shoulders reach away from each other. So you just give your heart lots of space to sit in this prouder position. As you again let the arms be heavy and the shoulders be soft. Softening into this proud posture. And just feeling your chin tuck slightly down toward the heart, so you feel the back of your neck getting nice and long. And just clearing that path between your physical heart, through your throat, into the brain stem and into the brain, the mind itself. Just reminding yourself of that direct connection you have between your heart and your head. And just clearing that space a little bit more intentionally. And just allowing your jaw to be heavy. And just letting it hang into place as the lips become softer. The tongue releases from the roof of the mouth. And you just let the chin release any remaining tension as that naturally cascades up the jawline into the ears, softening the nostrils and across to the cheeks. You soften the eyelids and the eyebrows. And just leaving space for the full width and depth of your forehead. As you feel your hairline soften back just a bit. And just feeling this overall sense of release in the muscles of your face. Maybe a sensation like the muscles are just hanging off of the bones slightly. As you just trust your own anatomy and that everything will be held right where it needs to be without any of your doing. Remembering that this is not a doing process. This is not a thinking or doing thing, but one of listening and feeling, and observing, witnessing practice. Imagining what it's like when you witness any force of nature, maybe watching a storm outside the window, or staring at a mountaintop, or laying on the beach. And how you don't feel the urge to change anything about what you are looking at, but you are simply witnessing its beauty, witnessing its natural function, and just watching. Knowing that you are capable of doing that same thing, that same witnessing act with yourself. Because you are a force of nature, just like everything else in this world. Feeling your whole scalp soften back. Maybe feeling your eyeballs resting in the sockets. Maybe even your brain resting in the skull. You just give yourself this well-deserved break. There is nothing that you need to do right now. And if there are areas within the body, as you continue to soften the body into this moment, if there are areas that come up that feel uncomfortable or painful, feeling free to adjust yourself if you think that might help, but also feeling free to feel even the painful things within you. And sometimes we can all get stuck in this trap of believing that we should be feeling good all the time, especially if we partake in healing practices. You might think that if we're not feeling good, that's some sort of reflection of our practice. Maybe we're not doing it right, or not enough, or there's something inherently wrong with us, maybe, is a feeling that could come. But reminding yourself that these healing practices are not about constantly feeling good or feeling blissful all the time. These practices are about showing up as you are. And you are human, just like all the other humans. And part of being human is feeling painful things. Part of being human is usually a sense of suffering in some way. And that does not mean that there's anything wrong with you. It just means that you are living this human experience as you should be. And reminding yourself that you are capable of feeling pain and joy and love at the same time. And sometimes we can be suffering and in a really tough position in one aspect of our life, while simultaneously really growing and thriving in a totally separate aspect of our life. And these things can happen at the same time. And so just giving yourself some grace and giving yourself a break from all of those should feelings that would come up. From feeling like you should be feeling better, or I should be grateful for all that I have, but I feel awful. Or I should be not in pain right now, but I am in pain. Just doing your best to notice when those should thoughts are popping up, and reminding yourself that is normal, that is natural, and at the same time, it is not helpful. And that adds an extra layer of things, of heaviness on our situation. And just by reminding yourself that whatever I am feeling is what I should be feeling, can just let you exhale into this space and maybe even move through these feelings with a bit more ease, with less tension and resistance. Reminding yourself that every single thing in this life is temporary, including your sensations of pain and suffering. They will not last forever, even when they feel like they will. So letting yourself fully feel, fully release what you need to release, to cry, to shake, to scream, to punch a pillow, run outside, or even dance and laugh and hug. Whatever natural urges of emotional release you feel, trusting those. Letting yourself move through your feelings, move through your stages of life naturally as you are meant to. Trusting the intelligence of your own body, the intelligence of your instincts. Knowing that on some level, you already know exactly what you need to do. And you already know that you are exactly where you need to be, even when you forget. And so just bringing some awareness now to your seat and to the place where your body is making contact with whatever surface is supporting you. And just paying attention to that space as you just exhale a bit deeper into that surface. And just allow yourself to be held by the earth beneath you. Allowing yourself to be hugged to the earth by the force of gravity above you and all around you. Imagining what it feels like when you are deep in sleep, and how everything is held right where it needs to be without any of your doing. And so it is safe for you to let go right now. And letting some awareness come into your own heart if that feels good to you. And just feeling this unique rhythm of the life that is being pumped into you every moment of the day. And you're welcome to place one or both hands on top of the heart to just encourage that feeling from the outside as well, if you ever have trouble feeling that rhythm. And just reminding yourself of the magic of this pure gift that is your heart, and how This exact heart has been pumping life into you before you even took your first sip of air. From the time you were in your mother's womb up to this exact moment. And it will continue to do so until your time is done here in this body. And how there is nothing in particular you have done to earn this beating heart. But this is just a pure gift given to you for a reason. And there is no need for you to go out and prove your worth or earn any more love than you already have. Because just the fact that you have this heart is the proof of your worthiness of it. And this is your direct connection to wherever all this life and love comes from. And so it would be impossible for you to earn more love from the outside. And instead, what we can do is go out and share the love that we already have. Remembering how that is what naturally allows our own love to grow, to multiply, and awaken that same truth in the people we come in contact with. And by being in touch with who you are, with your life, with your story, with your purpose, maybe, that is exactly what gives others the permission to do the same. What can inspire others to do that same work with themselves. We all have something incredibly special, unique, and necessary to offer this world. And sometimes we are the only one who gets in our way of sharing those things we have to share. And just being so, so kind to yourself, knowing that there is nothing wrong with you. If you're in a rut in life right now, or if you're feeling ill or frustrated with your life, you are on a journey, and there will be frustrating parts of our journeys. And just seeing what extra things you might be adding on to this frustration or this suffering that you feel. Seeing what might be in your control to release. So you can just allow yourself to move through whatever phase of life you're moving through and naturally move on to the next. And the greatest comfort to this idea is the moon. And in ancient Hellenistic astrology, the moon is the representation of our body, our physical body, our bones, our muscles, organs, everything. And when you think about our body, it is just matter. It does not have a light of its own, just like the moon. It is just matter. It does not have its own light that it gives off. But the moon does reflect the light of the sun, of soul. And same with our body. Our body reflects the light of our inner spark, of our inner soul. And there are times in our life where we feel full, where we feel fully illuminated by our own inner spark, where we feel bright, like we can shine light to others in the darkness, and whole and full and warm maybe. And there are also other times where we might feel like a new moon, where we are in the dark. We're still there, but not reflecting any light, or little to no light. We're in a stage of hibernating maybe. You might feel disconnected or not capable of shining light to others. And then there are all the phases in between the new moon and the full moon. You might be partially illuminated, partially in the dark. And these are phases that we will move through. And you're not meant to stop the phases and be a full moon all the time. We are meant to move through them naturally as we do. And so giving yourself whatever you need if you are a new moon, and watching your favorite show or eating your comfort foods or doing whatever you need to do, whatever feels comforting to you when you need it. And if you're in a stage where you feel full and bright and awake and like you're capable of sharing that with others, giving yourself permission to do that as well. Knowing that none of these stages will last forever. So just riding those waves with as much grace and patience with yourself as you can. So I'm going to read a little section now from Clarity and Connection by Young Pueblo, and I'll type that in the chat so you don't have to remember that. But just continue to soften your body, to feel whatever comes up, and just allow anything that resonates to soak in a little deeper, and not worrying about the rest. We often desire change in our lives, yet we reject the changes that come about spontaneously. This is a recipe that will repeatedly serve us misery. A mind full of attachments craves the fulfillment of its yearning and attempts to mold the world into the shape it desires. When we're controlled by our attachments, we not only lose our peace of mind, we miss the opportunity to enjoy life's natural unfolding. In fact, all of the things we love and appreciate exist because of continuous change. Without change, life itself would not be possible. Real happiness arises when we can love ourselves and the world while welcoming and appreciating change. This does not mean that we should live like rocks and allow the river of change to flow around us. Love naturally motivates us to attempt to mold the world in a way that enhances love. But wisdom also teaches that we should not get attached to things existing in an exact way, because change will always come. Being okay with not being okay does not make things automatically better. But it does stop you from adding more tension to an already difficult situation. Being okay with not being okay helps you let go. Throw away the idea that you need to pause your life until you are fully healed. This is a different way of being attached to perfection. Progress happens when you make better decisions in the midst of living. You can simultaneously heal your past while being open to the present. So you can just take the next few moments to just let everything you've heard today settle. And just feeling a sense of trust with anything you've heard today that felt like it resonated or struck a chord with you. And reminding yourself that that is when we hear on the outside what a part of us already knows to be true on the inside. So just letting those truths be enhanced within you. So you feel a little bit more trust with yourself and your own instincts. That you already know everything you need to know. And there is not one person, not one teacher out there who can teach you more about yourself and your journey than you can teach you. And not ever giving that power away to anyone who claims that they know you better than you. And so you can bring some attention just back to your hands. Maybe even feeling a heartbeat in your hands as you just remember the pulse that is connecting your heart to your hands. And feeling all this love that exists in your heart being fed into your hands, and just trusting that your hands have the ability to create, to heal through the power of your heart. And so if it feels like something you would like to do today, you can just let the pulse of your hands almost be drawn toward each other as you feel your hands come to a prayer position toward heart center. And just feeling your palms and fingers press toward each other as your thumbs press toward your heart and you let your heart lift back toward your thumbs. Reminding yourself of this power that no one can take away from you. And just taking a final deep and full breath into the body, seeing yourself fill up to every corner and edge of you. And as you exhale, letting go of anything you're ready to let go of, as you let your head gently bow. And just taking this moment to bow to the source of energy that allows all of our hearts to beat, whatever you believe that to be. Bowing to everyone else in this space who has listened and completed this practice right alongside you. And finally bowing to yourself for choosing to show up today and taking the time out of your busy life for this pure act of self-love and self-care. May this act continue to heal you through the rest of your days and nights. May you bring the same love and understanding to everything you do and to everyone that you see. Thank you.